Hey, what's going on there, folks? So if you clicked on this, obviously I'm going to talk a little in depth about doing an oil change on the 2023 or third gen Tacoma from 2016 all the way till 2023. Specifically towards the middle of this video, I have a part you're going to want to watch, and it's on the oil filter, how to do it the right way so it's not so messy, seeing how these oil filters were changed from the third gen from the second gen, and it is no longer conveniently under the hood. They had to put it underneath, and they had to use a plastic housing. So I'm going to get in depth detail about that and what you should do, and some pointers and some things that you want to do so you don't mess it up. Anyway, if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for watching another one of my videos. And if you are new to the channel, consider subscribing. Obviously, my life's, my video or my channel is life's escapades, and you can encounter anything. But again, I am making this video today for two reasons. First off, the last time the truck went in for the Toyota maintenance care, the free maintenance, whatever you want to call it, I got the truck home and the oil filter housing was actually leaking oil and dripping on the driveway. So I finally felt confident. I'll just leave my vehicle at the dealer and I get free maintenance. I don't have to crawl underneath it and do it myself. And I bring it home and that's what I get. So they actually cross-threaded my oil filter housing. That's part of the reason why I'm making this video. But the other reason why I'm actually making this video is YouTube actually sent me a notification about a month ago when I wasn't making videos or anything like that and said, you finally hit 300 subscribers. But my camera's almost ready to tip over because of the wind, so of course that would mess with me today. But anyway, I'm going to hold on to it here, my tripod, and continue on. So that actually pushed me and actually motivated me to actually keep continuing my YouTube videos no matter what they are. So anyway, let's get right into this, and I'll get in depth to detail about the oil filter housing and how to do it on the third gen Tacoma, and we'll go from there. Okay, folks, so obviously, as you see here, I've got everything you're going to need to change the oil on a third gen Tacoma, and I'm lucky right now the sun's shining on my back, and it is a cold, windy December day. It's about 33 degrees outside, so I am doing this again myself because there's actually one more free one, but it's going to go back to the original dealer I bought it at, and it also has to go actually at the mileage it's at right now at this week at the dealer for a tire rotation. I hope they can handle that. Anyway, so obviously, if it is a third gen Tacoma and you've got the 3.5 liter V6, you're going to want 7 quarts of 0W20 oil of your choice, and I always prefer and I recommend using an OEM Toyota filter, so I do have that, and that's the crucial part of this, what I'm going to get into. And then moving forward here, you're going to want this is actually an oil filter tool that is specific to the third gen, so you can get these at any parts store, or you can also go to the dealer. I'm sure you can pick one up there, probably a lot more expensive. And you're going to want a ratchet of any sort. You're going to want a 14 millimeter for the drain plug, and you're going to want a 12 millimeter to take the shield off to get to the pain in the ass oil filter on this third gen Tacoma. And this I'm not actually going to show you today, but if you want to click on the 2011 Toyota Tacoma or how to change the oil in the truck the right way, this will be checking the differentials, which I'm actually going to check off camera. But you're going to want a 10 millimeter Allen key for the front differential on a Tacoma, whether it is a second gen or a third gen. And you're going to want a 24 millimeter to check the transfer case and the rear differential fluid. And then I also made a little nifty tool that I've kind of learned to make throughout the years. It's just a clothes hanger, and I just make that so you can actually dip it inside and make sure there's oil in your differentials in your transfer case. And then this is all personal preference. I use a little door squirter. I actually oil the hinges on this. I've been doing it since I worked at a dealer back in 2004. I've been doing it ever since then, and it helps the door hinges so that you don't so they don't wear out and they don't sag. And I've actually got an electric impact that's going to help us take the shield off, and I've got a creeper, and luckily on this video today I'm actually going to be rolling around a little black top, which is kind of convenient. So let's jump right into this. Oh, and then I forgot to mention there, yeah, I've got old t-shirts and rags, socks and stuff to check the oil and to wipe off things too. Okay, folks, so don't mind the wind, but obviously first you want your 14 millimeter socket with a 3/8 drive ratchet, or whatever you have for a ratchet, whatever's going to work for you. And the first thing we're going to want to do, which is we're actually going to want to go right here and look for your oil pan. It's going to be this kind of narrow pan, and we're going to want to go ahead and crack that baby free. So I'm glad I could actually loosen it. The grill didn't put that on there too tight from the dealer. And let's go ahead, and we're going to want to get the oil draining. Simple enough. So we'll do that, and we'll let that drain, and we'll move on from there. So before we put the drain plug in, meet Angel. This is my new pup. I don't know if you've seen any of my previous videos. I had Gabby. She had passed away at 14 years old. She actually got Lyme disease, and I couldn't go without another pup. So this pup was actually trying to tell me something today, and she said, I don't want to walk past the house on the left. I don't want to walk past the house on the right. She said, I just want to get in the vehicle, and when you're done changing the oil, I want to go for a ride. So let's get right into it and tighten it up, and she's going to be sitting in here where it's warm. Okay, so moving on here, folks. Obviously, one thing I didn't mention, I want to tell you right now, I should have told you before, but there's actually a drain plug gasket on this. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of blue. You're going to want to make sure that that is on there. It's not smushed and it's in good condition. Otherwise, you're going to want to replace it. So I didn't put that in the parts on what you should have to change your oil, but just keep in mind and check that out. And also make sure it doesn't actually get stuck to the oil pan, and make sure it didn't fall off into your oil drain bucket and you put it on without it, because it could cause you a leak. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to slap that baby in there. Did I mention it did get colder out, and I hate doing things on the ground. I only do, that's why I love this Toyota, because it's only basic maintenance. And we're going to tighten at 25 to 30 foot-pounds, and I've just got 20 years as an auto tech experience and know how to feel for it. So we'll move on. We'll get to the crucial part about the oil filter housing, and this is probably what you've been waiting for, or at least if you're still watching the video, you're interested and you want to see what I'm going to talk about. And let's go. Okay, so moving on here, folks, in order to get to your pain in the ass oil filter on your 3rd gen Tacoma, that was nice and convenient on the 2nd gen Tacoma. We have to take the shield off, so I'm going to do this off camera, because you actually got to pull this valance off in the TRD Sport. You actually got to kind of bend it out of the way, so I'm not going to be able to do that and hold the camera. So we'll get that off, and we'll get to the oil filter housing. Okay, so now we got the shield off there, and if anybody's looking for the part number of the OEM oil filter, there it is right there, 04152-YZZA1. That is the 3rd gen Tacoma. I believe it is 2016 to 2023. Actually, I'm almost positive it is. Here is the filter that comes in the OEM box there, and then the other two crucial parts are actually, this is a little, it's actually a drain. I don't know if this comes with aftermarket filters or not. Maybe if you did do it before, you can tell me and comment on there, but this is actually going to go on the bottom of the, I call it the cap, that you're going to take off there, and then you're also going to, and that's the crucial part, it's going to make this a little easier. Some people might care, some people might not care, but it's probably personal preference. This is the actual housing O-ring, and this is actually going to go into the little plug or cap that is on the bottom of it. So let's get out there and let's get this done. Okay, guys, so there it is, the oil filter housing, and we're going to go start by taking this cap off, and I'm going to actually have to put this camera in the tripod here to hold it, so I'm not going to actually, I'm going to show you, but I'm not going to show you from this angle, so I'll go ahead and put that in there. And you'll still see what I'm doing here. I'm just going to get it locked in the tripod there so I don't have to hold it. And this will be the important, crucial part, and whether or not you care or not. Maybe you're not even this picky. And, but you're going to want a 3/8 drive ratchet and a extension. And the extension can be anywhere from 2 to 3 inches. I'm just going to use this longer one here. And you're just going to take this and put it on the bottom of the cap. And just crack that baby free. And hopefully it's not tight enough that it's not going to spin the whole housing. Make sure your drain bucket obviously is underneath it, and just spin that cap out of there. And so there's nothing draining out of there. And then you're going to take, as I showed you inside, you're going to take the little coupling out of the box of the OEM filter. Maybe it's aftermarket. And what this little thing is actually going to do is you're going to hold it upright like that, and you're just going to push this inside of it, and it actually pushes a valve and drains the oil out. So there's the crucial part, whether or not you care. And the reason why you want to do this is so when you go to take this housing out of here, it's actually not going to be a mess and just drip all over everything and get everything all a mess. So that drains it. So we'll let that drain, and we'll go ahead and we'll spin that baby out of there. Okay, folks, so moving on there. Obviously, it's all drained out. You can see the little plug still in there. So you just want to take that, pop it out of there, and then you want to have your oil filter wrench handy. This is kind of a cheesy one, but you want to get it on there as best you can. And you just want to go ahead and get that baby out of there. So now when you take it down, there's going to be minimum oil mess, and we are going to go ahead. Actually, I'm going to go inside. First off, I'm going to pop this filter off. We'll take a look at it. So this is 15,000 miles. I do my oil changes every 5,000. That's why I'm actually doing this one. The last one's actually 20,000 at the dealer. So looks like it looks pretty good. I don't see any metal shavings or anything in there. It better not. It's still under warranty, so I don't care if it does. And I'm going to take this inside. I'm going to wash it up, and we're going to come out here. We're going to put the seals on and go from there. Okay, folks, so here we have the housing all nice and clean. Yes, I'm back inside the house. It was so windy I couldn't do anything out there to videotape, as far as I was going to blow all this stuff away, and the filter's light, so all this stuff would have just blew away in the wind. So after that's all clean, the first thing you're going to want to do is, actually it doesn't matter which way you actually do this. You can do it first or last or whatever you want to do, but you want to take and you're going to want to put your oil filter housing seal on here. And just like this. And there's actually one groove it's got to go in. And if you look here, it is right here. So make sure it doesn't go past into this slot right here. When I'm pointing my finger on with that little notch, make sure it's right behind there, right after the threads. You definitely want to make sure it's right there. You're going to have problems. So that's the first thing you want to do. And then simple enough, you're going to want to take your filter and you just pop that. And there's no orientation to where it goes. It just goes in there one way or the other. And it just pushes in there. Nothing fancy about that. And then last but not least, you're going to want to take your oil filter seal and just push that inside there where that goes. And you're also going to want to take, and it even says it on the oil filter or the oil filter box, you want to take and put a little bit of oil there. So you're going to want to put a little bit of oil in that gasket. It's probably for the removal next time. I don't know. That's what they recommend. So we're going to do that. And we're going to put this on there. If I can get it in there without cross-threading it. And it's actually 2 foot-pounds. I'm not sure the Newton meters, but that's what it says on the OEM oil filter box for Toyota. And I'm going to tighten that. Don't forget to tighten that when we go outside. And I'm also going to put a little bit of oil on this O-ring here. So we'll get outside it and we'll get that on there. We'll tighten it up and we'll go from there. Okay, folks, so move it on there. I just usually take a quick wipe of the rag after I get the oil filter housing. And of course, I put a little lube on the oil filter seal there, or the O-ring. And we're going to move on, and we're just going to want to put that baby back up inside there. And you're going to spin it, and you'll feel the O-ring actually catch. It'll get real stiff, it'll get hard to spin. You're going to want to take your oil filter wrench and go on from there. And we'll go ahead, we'll spin this baby all the way up. And I will put the foot-pounds of torque and Newton meters up there on the screen so you know what to tighten it at if you're that picky, unless you know it's plastic. And you know what to tighten it at. So it just needs a little tiny snug, hardly at all. And again, I want to show you something too. So with the tech that did this before, not only with cross-threading it, when he put it back on, he had put it on there like a gorilla. You don't need to do that. So if this thing ever comes loose, first off, it only basically gets just tightened past the seal. But there's actually like a safety knob right here. So obviously you can overcome the force that is taking it off with a wrench, but if this was to loosen up and vibrate by the engine, this is going to hit this little tab right here and it's going to stop and it's not going to come out of there. So that's that. Let's not forget, we'll go ahead and tighten this to 2 foot-pounds and we'll get the shield back on and move up top and go from there. I interrupt putting oil in my truck for a snack break. I'm not sponsored by these by any means, but Kind Healthy Grains, these almond butter clusters are a fantastic, great snack with 10 grams of protein. They're gluten-free, 100% whole grains, and along with a bunch of other products as far as protein bars, these things are a great, healthy snack. So let's get to it and let's get the oil in this thing. All right, folks, jumping in the vehicle here. Make sure your oil's full, 6.2 quarts, and we're going to go ahead and hit the start button. Fire this thing up. I'm going to show you how to reset the maintenance reminder. Just wait until the screen comes up there. And the hood is open, so you're actually going to have to go here, and you're going to have to hit this back button. And that'll clear your hood. And then mine's already on it, but you want to scroll. You can see the truck icon on the top, a little triangle, and then you have like a gear-like looking icon. You're going to scroll down. Once you get it on the gear-like looking icon, you're going to go to Settings. And mine's already on it. Go down, if you're not on that, go down to Maintenance Reset and just click on that with the center button and just click up Yes and hit the Maintenance Reset. So if your light's not going to come on and saying maintenance required, if you do happen to have that on there, you went the full 10,000, or it might even be 8,000. It may pop on depending on your driving conditions. The computer basically tells you when to change your oil. So we'll shut the truck off, and with 6.2 quarts, we'll shut it off now, and we'll go out and we'll hop out and we'll check the level on the indicator stick with that amount of oil on there, and we'll go from there. Oh, it's actually over here, so I'll scoot it that way a little bit. Yeah, it was between 6.2 and 6.5. We'll just see where it's at. And this is immediately shutting it off. They recommend like waiting 10 minutes so the oil will drain back to the bottom of the engine. You can do that if you want to. So looking at it, kind of looking at the camera view here. Now, see if I can get it to focus. It's very hard to see because it's clean oil on there, but we're right at the top dot there where we should be. Again, thanks for watching. Consider subscribing. I hope these helpful little tips help out for you guys. Not that I'm the biggest famous YouTuber, but I love to do this stuff, and I hope to someday get monetized. Okay, oil's full before I actually hop in here. So this is what I actually do. This is a little tip, and you don't have to do this. You gotta be careful too, because it can actually make a mess, but I've got my little oil pump here, and you just pick one of these little canisters up at Harbor Freight, and I just actually take, and I've been doing this for years at the dealer, and it actually helps the door hinges from wearing out. And you just take and put the oil in there, and you can take a rag and wipe it after, put it in there in the pin, and just right there on the hinge. And I go around all 4 doors and I do this, and this is great. I used to actually do it on the door chucks, but the GM door chucks are different than the Toyotas, and you do not want to lubricate the door chucks because these are actually made so that they hold the door in the wind and things like that, so they don't close on somebody. But we'll move on here. We'll get in the vehicle, start it up, reset the maintenance reminder, and we'll continue on, check the oil, and wrap this up.